my baby. You guys didn't know it, but I had a baby dog a couple days ago. His name's Todd. He's pretty good. He takes a lot of naps. Anyway, today we are reading Sonnet 18, Shakespeare. You might remember when you read Romeo and Juliet last year in 9th grade, it actually starts with a sonnet. And it's like a very specific format, and it rhymes. And Shakespeare wrote hundreds of sonnets. He wrote so many that he just numbered them. He didn't even name them. Sonnet 18 is sometimes referred to as Summer's Day, or Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. It's one of the more famous sonnets. So let's first check out the rhyme scheme, the pattern of rhyme in this sonnet. It's very specific. It has to follow this pattern. And it also has to have like a certain number of syllables per line. But we're not gonna worry about that too much. So if you're looking at it, it's got 14 lines. And when we check out the rhyme scheme, we label it with letters and we just go with the alphabet. So if we're looking at this first line, it ends with day. So we're gonna call that A. And the next line's temperate. Day, temperate, nah, doesn't rhyme. So that's a B. And then May rhymes with day, so that goes back to A. And then date, if you're British, rhymes with temperate. B. Shines would be C. Dimmed would be D. Declines rhymes with shines, C. And then untrimmed rhymes with dimmed, okay? And then fade is new. We got E. Oest, shade rhymes with fade. Growest rhymes with oest. And then this is going to be G, C, and also G, V. So the AB, and the CD, and the EF, those are called quatrains, right? They're groups of 4 lines that rhyme in that pattern, the AB pattern. And then at the end, the GG, they go together. They're called a couplet, right? 2, like a couple, they're a rhyming couplet. So to make it a sonnet, it has to have this pattern, it has to rhyme in this way. It's got to be these 14 lines, and it's got to be 3 quatrains followed by 1 rhyming couplet. So back to my Romeo and Juliet point, at the very beginning of Romeo and Juliet, the first 14 lines are a sonnet. Something about 2 households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean, right? Scene, unclean, rhymed. It was like B and B or something. All right, let's read the poem. It's romantic, and I like it. It's also about a summer's day, which one day maybe we'll have it. All right, so let's read it once, and we'll go back through it. It says, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wonderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe, their eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. All right, so if you read it once, you're just like, whatever. But honestly, I love this poem because when you get into it, it's pretty romantic if you like that kind of thing, which I do. Okay, ready? This is gonna get awesome. So, imagine you got Shakespeare, and then he's comparing his lover to a summer's day, right? So he's gonna compare his lover to a summer's day, and every line's basically comparing them and like seeing who's better, you, my lover, or a summer's day. So, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Yeah, I'm about to. He goes, thou art more lovely and more temperate, right? He's like, she's better, more lovely than a summer's day. Because rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Like sometimes it's windy in May. And like, you're never windy, baby, but May's windy. And summer's lease hath all too short a date, right? Summer's way too short, but baby, you're not too short. Okay, next. Sometime too high, the eye of heaven shines. Sometime too hot, the eye of heaven shines, sorry. Right, sometimes it's too hot in the summer. but you're never too hot, baby, right? She's never too hot. And often is his gold complexion dimmed, right? Maybe it's cloudy. And every fair from fair sometime declines, right? Sometimes the weather's just not as good by chance, or nature's changing course, untrimmed, right? Maybe it just happens to be bad weather, or maybe it's like fall. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, right? Her beauty shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Like, you'll never lose your fairness and your beauty. Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade, right? If you're in the shade of death, you're like getting older. So like when you're getting closer to being older, when in eternal lines to time thou growest, right? Getting older. He's like, you're never gonna lose your beauty, even when you're older. And then the last two lines, the rhyming couplet, this is the best part. He's like, so long as men can breathe, our eyes can see, which is forever, hopefully. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. And this is the poem, right? So forever, this poem's gonna be around, and every time anyone reads it, they're gonna think of you and know how beautiful you were. So to me, that's kind of awesome, right? Shakespeare wrote it like in the 1600s, and like, if you're with me today reading it, you're reading it like hundreds of years later, and we're like, dang, she was beautiful and hot, or whatever. But not as hot as a summer day. So that's awesome, I think. So that's a sonnet. It's got to look like that. It's got to rhyme like that. It's got to follow that format. And if you like it, try to write one, but you don't have to for your poetry book. And you can also check out Shakespeare. He's got like hundreds of them. So check them out. All right. Peace out, kids.